Coming up on KTVH News at 5. In a surprise reversal, the Montana House voted down a controversial bill that would place restrictions on treatment of transgender youth. Plus, Lewistown Public Schools are preparing for students to return to the classroom full-time.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Andy Curtis, and thanks for joining us. In a surprising move Tuesday, the Montana House reversed itself from a day earlier and voted down a bill that would have prohibited certain medical treatments for transgender youth here in the state. On Monday, the House gave HB 113 debate stage approval on a 53-47 vote. But on the bill's final binding vote Tuesday, 4 additional Republicans voted no, leading to its rejection, 49-51. Among those changing their vote to no was GOP Majority Leader Sue Vitton of Billings. HB 113 said anyone under 18 here in Montana could not undergo sex change surgery or get certain medical treatments for a possible change in gender. Opponents said the bill discriminated against transgender youth and interfered in personal medical decisions. The House is scheduled to take a final vote Wednesday on a separate bill that bars transgender student athletes from playing on sports teams different than their biological sex. 18 Republicans and all 33 House Democrats voted no Tuesday on House Bill 113. And a bill that would expand where and how people could carry firearms has cleared another state legislative committee. The Senate Judiciary Committee endorsed House Bill 102 on a 7-4 vote. The bill would allow people to carry concealed firearms in more places and limit college campuses' ability to regulate guns. During Tuesday's debate, committee members voted down a large amendment which would have allowed more restrictions on guns in courthouses and at university sports and entertainment events, and removed a penalty for carrying a concealed weapon without a permit in a bar or restaurant. Supporters of the amendment said it addressed some concerns stakeholders had raised. Democrats opposed all amendments, saying the bill has too many issues to move forward.
I'm afraid the bill is, without that amendment, will not get the support it deserves.
Even though there may be some rationale for some of them to be excluded, but if everybody wants out of it, then the whole bill should die.
HB 102 will now go to the full Senate for a vote. And Governor Greg Gianforte is scheduled to give his first State of the State address to the Montana legislature this Thursday. And you can watch the entire event on the KTVH streaming app for Roku, Apple TV, and other devices. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock. And to learn more about the KTVH streaming app, visit ktvh.com/streaming. And now with a look at our weather, it was supposed to be Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
It's Chief Meteorologist Scooter here today, Andy. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Look at some of the cold temperatures out there this morning. Poplar down to 24 degrees below zero. That is not the wind chill. I'm making my cold face right now. See my cold face? Yeah, that's the face I make when it's cold. But pretty chilly across the state, and current wind chill values down below zero into the northeast corner of Montana. It's pretty chilly out there, and wind chill advisory. This continues here for the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. So nothing too unusual here in northeast Montana, but it is pretty cold. We'll take a look at the air mass, though, that is warming or ascending, so to speak. A few flakes may be moving through parts of the state on Friday. And February, yeah, it feels a little different. Might have a few storms, a little more than January. All more in the forecast coming up.
Lewistown Public Schools are in transition as they plan to go back to 100% in-person learning on February 1st. MTN's Cassandra Soto tells us more about their plan.
Fergus High School and Lewistown Junior High will go back to school at 100% capacity. The student population is currently split, so half attend class on Monday, Wednesday, the other half Tuesday, Thursday, leaving Friday for students at risk of failing. In preparation for the change, Lewistown Public Schools held a virtual town hall Monday night where a majority of parents agreed heading back to the classroom would be the best option.
From a parent perspective, I think you heard our frustrations, and we appreciate the additional push to get the kids back to school and are excited to hear that they will be going back next week. So thanks to all of you for helping make that happen.
Lewistown Public Schools released a poll that found that 16% of parents were not in favor of in-person learning. For those 16%, Superintendent Tom Peck hopes that putting COVID-19 protocols at the highest importance will put their mind at ease.
We're still doing, all the sanitizing protocols. We're going to distance as much as possible, re-emphasize the mask wearing. The other thing I think that could be a factor in us helping to get back to 100% is ionizing our air filtration. So every classroom, every school building, including gyms and performing arts centers, are air handlers to ionize it, which cuts down on bacteria, mold, and of course viruses.
In Lewistown, Cassandra Soto, MTN News.
Superintendent Peck says that any students that do not feel safe coming back in person can still utilize the AB schedule structure of learning. And meanwhile, another school closes its doors because of COVID-19. A notice tonight from Cutbank Public Schools. Now, they will be closed tomorrow through Sunday, February 7th. Schools will reopen on Monday, February 8th. Middle schools and high school students will do remote learning starting Monday, February 1st. Cutbank is implementing remote learning due to several positive cases among staff and students. The decision to go fully remote was not taken lightly. The school administration consulted with Glacier County Health, and they determined that this was the best course of action. And active cases of COVID-19 and hospitalizations from the virus in Montana continue to decline. As of today, there are about 4,100 active cases and fewer than 130 people hospitalized with COVID-19. There has been an increase of 11 deaths, though, bringing the statewide death total to 1,180. Now, MTN uses a combination of state and local data to provide you with the most up-to-date numbers regarding COVID-19 in our state, and because of that, our numbers may differ from the states. And the City of Great Falls is making money available to help local organizations respond to the pandemic. Applications are being accepted for about $475,000 in community development block grants. The money is part of the Federal CARES Act passed last year to help communities across the country deal with the pandemic. Great Falls organizations that normally help low to moderate income families can now apply for the CDBG funds. For example, a healthcare organization could apply for money to set up a vaccination clinic.
This is an opportunity to not only seize upon the opportunity to still deal with community impacts related to the pandemic, but it's also an ability to potentially address the next phase, which is communities being able to respond with vaccinations.
The deadline to apply for the grant money is February 26th. And 2 projects are expected to bring more jobs, events, and visitors to the Electric City in the near future. Construction is currently underway on a new Tony Roma's restaurant inside the Holiday Inn on 5th Street South. It is expected to be completed this year. The same hotel will also be home to 10,000 more square feet of convention center space. The space will be added on to the existing 7,000 square feet of meeting and convention space already in the hotel. The Great Falls Development Authority says the added jobs will help an industry that's been hit hard by the pandemic.
We're pretty excited because this project should add 30 to 40 new jobs for that market, which is fantastic. These are jobs that will be replaced from other hits that we've taken in the service industry.
The additional 10,000 square feet will make the space the largest hotel-affiliated convention space in the Golden Triangle. And when we come back, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz will have a complete check of your forecast, and later we'll go behind the scenes of what makes going into a newscast possible.
Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Looking at a pretty nice day here across a lot of the state. A little on the chilly side, 23 degrees currently in Great Falls. A little east wind, and we've got just a bit of a wind chill in Helena. Looking at a pretty nice day again after the clouds and a few flurries moved out this morning. 26 degrees right now. I know it's January, but believe it or not, these temperatures are a little bit below average here across most of, if not all of the state. Colder numbers the farther north and east you go. The wind, not too bad. This wind continues to come out of the east, and that is making it pretty chilly out there. On the radar, all right, maybe a little snow out there around Spokane, but not really looking at much until you head way far west. Believe it or not, a little snow coming through Portland, Oregon, which doesn't always happen. A little snow down around Salt Lake City here as well. The watches, the warnings, there's a bunch of them up and down the Pacific coast. Blizzard warnings for parts of the Sierra Nevada, which could see from this one storm alone as much as about 7 to 8 feet of snow. 7 to 8 feet. Where's all the snow? It's falling off towards our south and west end. Anybody traveling up over Oneida Pass here over the next few days really needs to watch out. Here is the big picture. Yeah, look at the northeast. A little snow moving through there. Some snow down around Denver, moving into parts of Kansas as well. And there's that rain and snow moving into the Pacific Northwest. Boy, is that going to be just an incredible storm for parts of California. So, will we see any snow here in Montana? Maybe just a little here. Not tonight, not tomorrow, at least not east of the Continental Divide. There'll be a few snow showers in the western mountains tomorrow, but heading through the next few days, there's that big area of low pressure out on the Pacific coast, and that will actually send a little in the way of some cloud cover and some moisture into the state as we get into Friday. But it's more so down across the south central part of the state. Now, Sunday will be dry, and heading into next week, the first few days of February, that's when we could have a little snow coming through parts of the state here, maybe with some colder air. So things do look to change up a little bit as we head into the month of February. But snowfall amounts, yeah, look at that down around the California, Sierra Nevada, also through parts of the Sierra Nevada into Nevada, down around Island Park and West Yellowstone, Oneida Pass, Idaho Falls. That's where there will be some good snow, the Tetons as well, over the next few days. Not much in Montana again until maybe we get into next week. Here's the forecast for tonight. Another chilly night here, and again, keep in mind further out the high line, we've got that wind chill advisory going all the way until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So wind chill values maybe down 25 degrees below zero. Central Montana, a chilly night, mainly clear skies, and maybe a little fog around the Helena Valley, in the Helena Valley, once again tonight into tomorrow morning. And here's the forecast for tomorrow. Temperatures start to rebound here just a little bit. The flow switching more to the south, so we're not looking at as much in the way of some cold air. Still pretty chilly, though, northeast Montana with mostly sunny skies at least. No strong wind tomorrow. We should be looking pretty good. And then heading around the Helena area, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. May have a period of overcast skies tomorrow afternoon, but it's not too bad. Similar to today. Here's the 7-day forecast for Helena, and there you can see the numbers slowly going up. Maybe a little snow Friday afternoon, Friday night into Saturday morning, and then around Groundhog Day, again, we could have a little snow next Tuesday into Wednesday. And for Great Falls, slowly warming over the next few days, almost up into the 40s here this weekend. Sunday could be about 45 degrees, Monday as well, and then chance for some snow on Groundhog Day.
Well, tonight we continue our spotlight on News Literacy Week. It's a whole week dedicated to helping you better understand and navigate the news. MTN's Coulter Anstad gives us a look at some of what goes on behind the scenes.
2, 1.
Television is just as much about what happens behind the camera as it is about what happens in front of it.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
You don't see Cameron Seaman, Katie Davenport, or Brooklyn Mayberry on TV, but without them, you wouldn't see anything at all.
I expected a lot of work to go into making the news, but it's a lot more than I originally anticipated.
Cameron is the 9 p.m. news director. That means he pushes the buttons to make everything show up on TV when it's supposed to. Katie and Brooklyn help move the cameras around in the studio.
I've definitely learned really good communication skills, and it's easier for me to talk to people, like out in the real world. I feel like I know things more that I work at a news station because I normally wouldn't be watching the news if I were just sitting at home.
Oh, and let's not forget, they're all also in school. Cameron and Katie are seniors in high school. Brooklyn is a freshman in college. Cameron can see himself having a career in the television industry.
I definitely feel like working here is definitely a stepping stone into something much larger.
Katie and Brooklyn, they're a little less sure about their future careers.
I've definitely thought about it, and it's definitely been one of my options.
I think that when I get out of high school, I'll probably visit other things and discover other things, but I might come back. I don't know.
Keeping an open mind, not a bad idea in an industry full of possibilities.
And coming up next, we'll have the highlights from the first all-girls wrestling mixer in central Montana. Stay around, we'll be right back.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for spending some time with us here today. We still don't know where the high school wrestling state tournaments will be held, but the regular season continues to move forward. Today in Cascade, Tom Wiley was on hand for the first all-girls mixer in central Montana.
A little bit of history out here in Cascade. In the first year of girls wrestling as an MHSA sanctioned sport, we have the first all-girls wrestling mixer featuring teams and wrestlers from all across the state. It's been hard for girls to find a lot of matches this season, so that's what this event is for, and we will start at 113, where Chinook's Rebecca Stroh is fighting back against Flathead's Anaya Halverson. Trailed 7-0 in this one, but gets the takedown, which leads to a pin. Stroh went 1-1 on the day. Also at 113, Sims has a strong team for both boys and girls. Harley Wade taking on Hamilton's Denali Lucas, and it's Wade showing what the Tigers are made of, overpowering her opponent to get the pin. Very next match, Wade's teammate Lily Schubarth overpowers Flathead's Cadence Denny. That's another pin at 126-pound. Tigers looking good this season. Cascade's Bailey Jones, just her first year as a wrestler, all-state volleyball player. She's locked in a struggle with Flathead's Trinity Boulin. Jones trailing by 2, but the reversal ties things up at 8. But Boulin escapes in the final seconds, and that'll lead to a 9-8 decision. Great Falls High's Kaylin Jones getting some matches out in Cascade. She will pin Alyssa Hatton from Flathead. Jones goes 2-0 on the day. You can find full results from one of the first events of its kind on montanasports.com. In Cascade, Tom Wiley, MTN Sports.
Stay where you are because we'll be wrapping things up here when we come back. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on tonight's NBC Nightly News.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers, Dr. Fauci on the race to get ahead of the coronavirus as it continues to mutate. Also, why vaccinating poor countries may be the key to our own success against the virus. When we see you back here tonight.
You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everyone. Hundreds, if not thousands, of dogs are in shelters across Montana waiting for their forever homes, each with a story. Well, in Chinook, there's one pup in particular whose rescue story is especially remarkable. This is Barney. Today, he's wagging his tail. He's come a long way in a short time. That's because Barney was rescued 5 weeks ago by Paws of Chinook when someone reported seeing him in pretty bad shape, essentially just bones. He was rushed to the vet, who said he likely hadn't eaten in months, and his outlook at the time was grim. But through patience and love, Barney has gained weight and strength.
Barney has every reason in the world to not be okay with us, and we would understand completely if he bit our faces off. We would totally understand, and we'd still be here for him. But he hasn't been that way. You can feel how grateful he is. He just wants to go run and play. That's all he wants. And we try to give him that every single day.
Now, Barney has also made a friend in his journey to recovery. Fancy came to the shelter a few weeks ago and they became instant friends. Hewitt believes Fancy has helped Barney in his recovery, and they're hoping to adopt Barney and Fancy out as a pair. Now, while Barney isn't ready to leave the shelter just yet, Paws of Chinook will be accepting applications for his adoption, and he will need a home that will take him on some new adventures so he can also they can also handle the financial responsibility of higher-end dog food and possible continued medication. So reach out to Paws of Chinook if you're interested in Barney and Fancy.
Great story. Thanks to Paws Chinook and everybody who works with those animals there. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. A little warmer over the next few days. Still tonight into tomorrow morning. A wind chill advisory northeast Montana, including the Glasgow area. Maybe a little snow Friday into Saturday, and then again Groundhog Day next Tuesday. Could see a little snow with some cooler air around the Helena area. Pretty nice over the next couple of days.
Well, thank you for making us a part of your evening. NBC Nightly News is next.